Sat Shri Akal.
Sat Shri Akal.
Welcome to Punjab, first of all.
Thank you.
Love Punjab.
कोई भी जो बात हम कर रहे हैं आज है ना वो उन तक जरूर पहुंचनी चाहिए.
ठीक है और मैं हिंदी में बोलने की कोशिश करूँगा.
आप पंजाबी में बुला पा लेंगे.
मिट्टे गाने that guy and stuff.
Okay. सुनते हैं आप पंजाबी म्यूजिक और सिंगर्स को.
Yeah, going to Indian groceries in America and like going through the DVD section and just bringing home random stuff, and I was like watching stuff like Surjit Bindrakia, like Fami Bai and
God.
stuff, and just like watching their videos and just being like just enthralled for some reason.
Wow,
it was like
ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਡੈਬਿਊ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ which is नानक नाम जहाज. Am I right? समझ आया आपको थोड़ा बहुत?
नहीं थोड़ा ज्यादा समझ में आया मुझे.
आया?
I mean, हाँ, पंजाबी और हिंदी बहुत मिलती जुलती है.
Whenever you will meet Tarseem ji and Gurpreet Ghuggi ji, वीर जी, वीरा, so जब भी आप मिले क्या बुलाएंगे आप उनको? तरसेम पाजी.
सत श्री अकाल पाजी.
Great, and you also.
All the best, Paji.
How's the experience working with our encyclopedia of our Punjabi industry, Gurpreet Ghuggi ji and equally Tarseem Jassar ji? Please tell us something about.
Gurpreet Ghuggi ji was also an amazing inspiration to share the screen with. I feel very blessed that this was my first experience in Punjabi cinema, and I had such great.
What emotion do you feel with Komagata Maru?
Punjabi colonial oppression and history of the Raj and stuff as it related to Punjabi people. I think the potential to keep going with this is great.
Punjabi film नानक जहाज में काम करने के बाद किस इमोशन को वापस लेके जाएंगे आप?
बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट फिल्म है जिसके बारे में हम सुना रहे हैं. ये मामला आजकल आज की दुनिया में it's बहुत ज़्यादा important issue.
Celebrities even who come to India for Golden Temple and Shiva temples or Vrindavan.
That feeling like this is where I belong. India is where the Buddha actually lived and taught, and where Buddhism spread from and all that. So when I came to India, a big part of it was to visit the places of where the Buddha's life unfolded, do that Buddhist yatra. So I don't know, koi raz piche de janam ka ya kya hua.
Wow.
But this is just that's what brought me to India. I mean, more than the work of being an actor.
Who's your favorite actor in Indian cinema?
My favorite movie might be Bawarchi, Rajesh Khanna's film.
Indian music, Bollywood music. So, vibe करते हैं आप Bollywood music के साथ?
Cinema and everything. I was listening to a lot of Bhangra. I was listening to a lot of A.R. Rahman.
Okay.
I was listening to just like anything Bollywood, pretty much. Especially like old Bollywood, like Kishore Kumar and Rafi Saab and these guys are just.
I'm not wrong. Both of you got married with an Indian girl?
Yeah.
Both of you, right?
Yeah. It's not. I didn't come to India looking for an Indian wife or anything.
Course,
it just happened. We fell in love and we got married and we have a kid and we have a great life. Now it's like it's a love story.
तुम तो से बहुत खुश हो गए नाम सुन के ना दे बच्चियां दे. Very surprising. Yes, please.
Yeah, our son's name is Om.
Yes.
And I have two daughters. One is Yodi, like Yoda, and the other is Yari.
Yodhi and Yari.
Yodi and Yari.
I know.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Kamaini.
Kamaini. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Edward.
Sat Shri Akal.
Sat Shri Akal.
How are you doing?
Good. Very good.
Great.
Okay. Welcome to Punjab, first of all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling right now? This is our Punjab.
We love it.
Yeah.
Love Punjab.
Okay. Welcome to our Punjabi industry, Punjabi cinema.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, in our Punjab, there is one emotional cure. Punjabi de grandmother. Punjabi bro watch. So I was standing there and I was noticing and what I feel like American bro coach.
Yeah.
So please tell me something about your bro coach. I mean the bond both of you share.
Well, I mean we're from relatively same place in California.
Okay, we're like
California.
almost the same age. We come from almost the same like 100-mile radius.
Yeah, yeah.
Where we grew up. So we share that. And I don't know, I mean, there's other Americans around in Mumbai, but I think, you know, I'm closest with Mark just because I don't know, we just have that connection. I think if I knew you in America, I'd be your friend.
Yeah, we'd be pals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've worked together quite a few times, and just I mean,
That's really great.
Yeah, Mark's my favorite dude to work with for sure.
yeah. Likewise.
Yeah.
We always have a good time.
I know. And he's good, you know, so I always learn from him, and I always feel like I'm acting with someone who's gonna uplift my work, you know, too, in the scene. So
Great.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to say something more?
No, just that.
We could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
The bromance continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, romance. Great. So, okay, सत श्री अकाल है साਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है ਤੁਹਾਡਾ सारिਆਂ का, and मैं हिंदी में भी ट्रांसलेट कर देना चाहूंगी. मैं वेलकम कर रही हूँ आप दोनों का.
कोई
और
बात
मैं उनको एड्रेस कर रही हूँ ताकि वो इमोशनली कनेक्ट कर पाए. Because personally I feel there is no language barrier in art or in emotions, but yeah, फिर भी हमारे पंजाब में थोड़ा सा हो जाता है सिस्टम अतिथि देवो
बिल्कुल,
भव.
बिल्कुल.
But still, है ना? So I want कि कोई भी जो बात हम कर रहे हैं आज, है ना, वो उन तक जरूर पहुंचनी चाहिए. I'm right.
ठीक है, और मैं हिंदी में बोलने की कोशिश करूंगा भी.
अपा पंजाबी में बुला लांगे. हम पंजाबी
वो तो नहीं हो पाएगा. I'm sorry.
Okay, so welcome to Punjab again. Komagata Maru, Nanak Naam Jahaz, है ना? So this is a very sensitive incident, very sensitive issue for all of us, not only for Punjabis but all of us. So I just want to know what emotion you feel about Komagata Maru.
I mean, it's it's a dark spot in history, and it's devastating looking back and thinking, how did this happen? How could this have happened? You know, as we do with so many events that are tragic in this way.
Yes.
So, and that's part of why we chose to do the film is because it's a relatively unknown story to the world.
Right.
So it's a very important.
Right. Yeah. So basically ਮਾਰਕ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਟ੍ਰੈਜੇਡੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਹੁਣ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ फ्रेम करके लेके आवांगे. I'm right, Edward? ये एक ऐसी ट्रेजेडी रही है हमारी हिस्ट्री की जिसको अब हम सिनेमा के थ्रू फ्रेम करके सामने लेके आएंगे.
हाँ, yeah, and I think ये कहानी इसके बारे में सुनाना बहुत जरूरी है. आजकल भी, खासकर आजकल, क्योंकि वो जो इमिग्रेशन का इश्यूज जो बढ़ते रहते हैं, it's very important that वो immigrants के perspective से देख सकते हैं, and this film I think does that, and I think that is the role. That's a very important role of cinema, is to give the audience the perspective of populations of people that they don't otherwise have. And so I really hope that this film becomes big enough to reach globally in a way that will affect the kind of people that I think need to see this.
Exactly. I agree with the same, but what emotion do you feel with Komagata Maru?
I mean, as a person.
As a person.
As a person, I mean, it's devastating to know about. But as an actor,
yes,
you can't play that. I mean, we're playing the people who are making
that's biopic.
Decisions.
Yeah.
And saying no. So with that, in order for that to work, you have to play it as you would just play it, your daily life, and you're just doing your job. And
yes.
This is just, business as usual in their worlds.
Yeah.
And that's how you humanize that part of the story. And,
exactly.
And if that can come true to life, then it adds more value to the entire story.
Very true. And what about you?
I mean, when I look at this incident as a human, yeah, I feel very emotional. The tragedy is huge, and but as an actor playing the role of the colonial servant, there's just that sense of duty and of doing a good job and impressing your superiors, and because I think what this film can do is also show that it's colonialism is just a whole machine.
Yes.
The racism is there, and the classism and the economic oppression and the exclusion in this case with the immigration issues. But really, it's a whole system. It's a whole machine, and we play just like small cogs in that. People who are just there to do their job, and they're not really making decisions on their own so much. At least in my case, my character's case,
right.
It's just about serving the machine of colonialism, which you could say today is still there in different forms, maybe, the whole corporate machine or fascist regimes or whatever it is. We just serve the greater purpose as we see it, whether it be the wrong side or the right side, depending on your perspective.
But did you actually knew before?
No, I didn't know about this
during
history.
the shoot. You came to know about the incident.
Yeah, before. I mean, when the role came, then that's when you start researching and going online and finding out about it. Yeah.
Why, when you choose this project? I mean, what's the reason behind, and particularly Punjabi film? Why you say? I mean, why yes? Came from your side.
Yeah, because it was an important story that not a lot of people know about. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it.
And what about you?
Yeah, same reason that this was not just another, over dramatization of the British atrocities. This was, I think the makers are really trying to do a faithful retelling of an important piece of history that is not very well known, but should be. I think, the reason this is, both of our first Punjabi film is because so far Punjabi films have not dealt so much with the historical topics as much as like Hindi films and South films have. And so what I'm hoping is that this might start a new trend where, there's more of this, because if this film is any example, then I think the potential for Punjabis telling stories of Punjabi colonial oppression and history of the Raj and stuff as it related to Punjabi people, I think the potential to keep going with this is great.
Thank you so very much. But मैं इनको थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करना चाहूँगी यहाँ पे, है ना, क्योंकि सब देख रहे हैं. या बिल्कुल ये बहुत पहले तो मैं कहना चाहांगी कि बहुत बहुत वेलकम कर दिया ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਤੇ ਐਕਟਰਸ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਐਕਟਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਬਾਲੀਵੁੱਡ ਦੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. ਔਰ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਛੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਬਾਵਜੂਦ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਸਾਡੀ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬੋਥ ਆਫ ਦੈਮ ਆਰ ਡੂਇੰਗ ਅ ਫੈਬੂਲਸ ਜੌਬ. ਔਰ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਡੈਬਿਊ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਵਿਚ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਜਹਾਜ਼. Am I right? समझ आया आपको थोड़ा बहुत?
नहीं, थोड़ा ज्यादा समझ में आया मुझे.
आया?
I mean, हाँ, पंजाबी और हिंदी बहुत मिलती जुलती है.
Am I right? मैंने सही बोला जो बोला?
सही बोला.
पूरा नंबर?
हाँ.
Full marks?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
जितना समझ में आया उतना ठीक लगा मुझे.
Yes, of course. Secondly, what I personally feel is कि ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ. ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਾਮਾਗਾਟਾ ਮਾਰੂ ਦੀ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਲੜਾਈ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੜੀ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਹਰ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿਆ ਸੋ ਹਰ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਦਾ ਇਸ ਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਡਾਰਕ ਫੇਸ ਸੀਗਾ ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਮਾਈਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੇਸਿਜ਼ਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਆਈ ਵਾਂਟ ਲਿਟਲ ਮੋਰ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਰੇਸਿਜ਼ਮ and migrant issue which is we are all going through please say something about
racism.
Yes.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's not going anywhere. I mean, you still see it just playing such a huge role in societies all over the world. So in many ways we've come a long way. I mean, where we're from, only 200 years ago, there were still slaves. And that legacy is, still, a huge dark cloud over, over the US. And in India, the colonial rule ended, relatively very short time ago, really, like relatively speaking. So these things are there. Progress is happening, but then, it's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And, we're still a long way from an equal society globally. I don't know. That's what comes to mind when you ask me just to say what I feel about racism.
No. But actually, thank you so very much. Because you are a part of a very big project and this is very sensitive and even this is very necessary for our society to know more and more about.
Yes.
So of course.
Yeah.
Okay, how's the experience working with our encyclopedia of our Punjabi industry, Gurpreet Ghuggi ji and equally Tarseem Jassar ji? Please tell us something about both of them.
I mean, I barely worked with it. I mean, I mostly had my scenes with Edward.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, he plays my character's boss, and then I have to go out and trouble these guys, following his instructions.
Yeah.
So I really had an inspiring experience working with Tarseem ji. It was amazing. He's a method actor, actually. I mean, I had no idea. After just an hour or so with him on set, I realized he's not breaking character. Like, even when the camera's off, he's not, talking to anyone. He's not doing anything other than just focusing on his role and staying in character. And I don't really have it in me to act that way. I'm more, I don't know, I'm just not as intense, but I found it very inspiring, and I really helped me just like do my best to just be worthy of sharing the screen with him. And then after pack up, he's just totally sweet and warm and lovely person to talk to. He just came up to me and introduced himself, and he knew about my work, and we just chatted like it was, like we hadn't just had this really intense scene where, he's in jail and I'm trying to break him. It was great working with him. Great. And Gurpreet Ghuggi ji was also an amazing inspiration to share the screen with. I feel very blessed that this was my first experience in Punjabi cinema, and I had such great inspirational co-actors to
great. I'm feeling so proud right now. So Punjabi chha gaye hoy, basically we can say that.
Punjabi chha gaye hoy. Been doing this for a long time now in India. I've been in a lot of films, many successful, some not so successful. This feels like the kind of experience I had feels like these guys know what they're doing, and we really made something special.
ਓਕੇ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਵਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਵਾਂ ਤਰਸੇਮ ਜੱਸੜ ਭਾਜੀ ਲਈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮੈਥਡ ਐਕਟਰ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੈਮਰਾ ਔਨ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕੈਮਰਾ ਆਫ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵੀਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਸੇਮ ਐਜ਼ ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਘੁੱਗੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਯੂਜੂਅਲੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਕਰੀਨਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੋ ਲੈਟਸ ਗੋ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਵਾਲ ਆਈ ਹੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਾਲ ਆਓ ਆਪਣੀ ਓਕੇ ਸੋ ਵਾਈ ਬੋਥ ਆਫ ਯੂ ਚੂਜ਼ Indian cinema? I really want to know that.
I mean, I guess you could say it chose us in some ways.
All right.
I mean, I came here in 2010 as a photographer,
Yes.
and I did this book.
Award-winning photographer.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, I did this book on coffee table book on the acting community in Mumbai, and then sure enough, I got tapped on the shoulder by a casting friend saying, "Please audition for this film." And I said, "No, I don't act anymore because I used to act."
Detective Byomish. I
The
think.
first one was a film called The Letters, an international project. called The
Okay.
Letters.
Okay.
And so I sort of reluctantly did that, and then a few years later, then I did Byomkesh, and then a couple of years later, then I did Pirmanu, and then after that, then I thought, well, there seems to be quite a bit of work, and so that somehow we just ended up moving back. My wife's from Pune, so we ended up moving here, and
Great.
yeah.
Great. So, 2008. I'm right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
Yeah.
So so many Bollywood films, good films.
Thank you.
Both of you. Yeah. So why you feel, like, yes, I need to do acting and I will go with Indian cinema.
I think I just felt like India is where I belong. And I can't exactly say why ever. There's many reasons. I mean, the
Few, please, if you can.
the people, the kind of warmth and the kind of spirit that you find in Indian people. The spirituality here in India is very strong. The food, the climate, the music. Okay, there's no one thing, and so I started just falling in love with India first, and Bollywood kind of at the same time. Indian cinema. Before I ever came to India, this was like back in the early 2000s. Then I started teaching myself Hindi. I started like just kind of educating myself about India. Then I came and traveled. Then I came back to America. Then I realized I don't want to be here. I want to be in India. And I've always loved acting, although I never did it professionally, just theater and whatever, But I realized, okay, I can act. I want to live in India. There are roles for me in Indian cinema, so that's where I'm going to go, and that's where I'm going to do it. So I just showed up in Bombay and started working. Yeah.
As you said, spirituality.
Yes.
Right? How you connect spirituality, in India? I really want to know that because there are so many people, beyond our boundaries. So there are so many celebrities even who come to India for Golden Temple and Shiva temples or Vrindavan. But I want to know.
Yeah. So for me, it actually started with Vipassana meditation. At the time when I fell in love with India, I was also a strong Vipassana meditator. I was doing a lot in California, and though India is where the Buddha actually lived and taught, and where Buddhism spread from.
Beautiful.
And all that. So when I came to India, a big part of it was to visit the places of where the Buddha's life unfolded, do that Buddhist yatra, and it was very powerful for me. And what I realized being in India is that there's not just Buddhism, Vipassana, but there's just a strong kind of sense of understanding among people here that there's something more than what you see in front of you. The veil of Maya is understood as a veil. Just more generally, everybody in all walks of life, there's just that strong kind of spiritual understanding. And I never really spent a lot of time in temples or anything, although I do. But more important than that for me is just feeling that sense of spirituality in the land and in the people. And when I'm in India, I just feel that.
Wow.
It's not just about going to, a place of worship once a week. It's about, every day remembering your connection to the infinite, whether that's through God or, through nature or through meditation. There's just a more natural understanding of that in the land, in the people in India, that's my experience, you know. And so I just feel that when I first flew to India, the very first time, I remember it was night, and I could see out the window, we were coming over India, just as the plane came into Indian airspace, I just felt something move inside me, and that's never left. You know, that feeling like this is where I belong. So I don't know, koi raz pichhle janam ka ya kya hua.
Wow.
But this is just that's what brought me to India. I mean, more than the work of being an actor, I think it's India that brought me here.
Great.
Yeah.
And we are very happy you are a part of our family, our nation now. Yeah. Do you relate with him in spirituality emotion?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly sensed when I first came that I thought, wow, there's spirituality in everything here. It felt like, and the level of discipline within that spirituality. For instance, I was getting ready to travel back to the States. I'd been here for a couple of months, and my assistant for the book, this is a 22-year-old girl, got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to pray into this thing that she was going to tie on to my. I mean, I thought, what 22-year-old in the United States would get up 2 hours early and then go to her boss and tie this string on? I mean, it was just it blew me away. So that was the kind of, I mean, it's just everywhere you look, there's spirituality. So it's moving, it's moving.
Right. So if I'm not wrong, both of you got married with an Indian girl?
Yeah.
Both of you, right?
Yeah.
Not the same one.
Yeah, not the same one.
Of course, yes, of course. But I really want to know why. Emotional connect, or I mean, what's the reason behind it?
I mean, why do you fall in love with anyone? It's like it's not. I didn't come to India looking for an Indian wife or anything.
Course, yes.
It just happened. We fell in love, and we got married, and we have a kid, and we have a great life. Now it's like it's a love story.
I actually had dated every girl in the United States, so I had to leave. I mean, I didn't have a choice, so I found myself.
Okay, great, congratulations for that also. But I want to know your kids' names because ये बहुत खुश हो, तुझे बहुत खुश हो गए नाम सुन के ना दे बच्चियां दे very surprising. Yes, please. Your kids' name.
Yeah, our son's name is Om.
Yes.
And I have 2 daughters. One is Yodi, like Yoda, and the other is Yari.
Yodhi and Yari.
And Yari.
Very beautiful, very beautiful. So, sikhna chahiye sanu. We should learn from this, okay? All right. Coming back to this. Okay. So, if we are talking about Indian cinema, okay? You wrote the book, right? Okay. What's the emotion you put into that? I mean, I think Bollywood actors, right? So please tell us more about that book, that emotion, that actor life of Bollywood actors.
One of the things that I noticed right away when I was here meeting everyone, and part of the reason I was meeting so many people was from Gurpreet Ghuggi. She was one of the first people I met, and producer in Bollywood. And she introduced me to a number of actors, friends of hers. And, so many people that I spoke to were, whether these people were working actors or, strugglers, they'd say everyone had such a calm confidence, and it felt like they were a part of some, bigger something. Again, coming back to spirituality. In comparison to the actors that I knew, I knew so many actors in LA. There was always, if they weren't working, there was such a deep-seated sense of desperation that didn't exist here. There was just a calm here. If they weren't working, then hopefully they would be soon. And I don't know. There was just something that was so refreshing, and it felt so grounded. So anyway, what was the question?
About your book and the emotions.
Yeah. So it just, that's, I just felt, it was just a lovely experience learning about actors here or in Bombay and what their experience was. And yeah.
Who's your favorite one?
Mhm.
I have so many. Probably my most favorite actor to watch was Irfan.
Irfan Khan.
Yeah. Just because he had such a rich inner life, and you could just watch him. You'd just be mesmerized by watching him live and breathe. But there's so many great actors here.
Exactly. So many legendary names, we can say that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who's your favorite actor in Indian cinema?
Oh, gosh. When I was first getting into Bollywood movies, I really had a thing for the 70s, like 60s, 70s, a little bit 80s. But my favorite movie might be Bawarchi, Rajesh Khanna's film, Bawarchi. I love the Rishikesh Mukherjee films, from those times. My favorite actor might be Amitabh Bachchan. No, he's been in so many films that I love, and I just love his work ethic and he'll do anything. He can do it all. And my favorite to watch is probably Mumtaz from those days. I just love, she's so adorable and so talented and so lovely. So she's like, any film with her in it, I would watch pretty much.
Great. And in fact, you were talking about music, Indian music, Bollywood music. So vibe करते हैं आप Bollywood music के साथ?
These days, I've kind of like, for some reason, things go in phases. Right now, I'm just listening to like the music I listened to in high school, mostly like rock and roll and stuff. But like when I was first falling in love with India and Indian music and cinema and everything, I was listening to a lot of Bhangra. I was listening to a lot of A.R. Rahman.
Okay.
I was listening to just like anything Bollywood, pretty much, especially like old Bollywood, like from like 60s, 70s, and Kishore Kumar and Rafi Saab and these guys are just, and that music really just, I think maybe more than the movies and everything, just made me want to visit India. Just like old Bollywood music was somehow had such a vibe for me that I was singing those songs all the time. And it's not like I had any Indian friends or anything back in America, but this is what was going on in my mind. And this is what I was listening to and singing all the time, so that really, as I just rambled for a while, but I think what I've come on is like, if you ask me about Indian music, it's that era,
And if I'll ask you about a particular Punjabi music, who's your favorite? सुनते हैं आप Punjabi music और singers को?
Yeah. There was a time I was listening to a lot of like London Punjabi music from like the 90s and stuff. I don't know if I can recall any of the actual names, that Mitte Gane, that guy and stuff.
Okay.
But I listened to a lot of Daler Mehndi, actually, like early, very kind of
Bhangra vibe,
rural, Bhangra, rural, rustic stuff.
Yes.
And I was buying these, I was going to Indian groceries in America and like going through the DVD section and just bringing home random stuff. And I was like watching stuff like Surjit Bindrakia, like Pami Bai and stuff. And just like watching their videos and just being like, just enthralled for some reason. It was like, cause it was like so rural and there's just like so rustic and having such a good time, and the music was like very danceable. So it was a big phase for me, and I was just blindly exploring these people.
Great, great, great. मैं तो सुन के चाह चढ़ गया बिंद रखिया साहब दा ते पम्मी भाई होना दा. So, do you like Punjabi music? You like Punjabi artists?
Yeah, he knows much more about music than I do. Yeah.
Same. Copy paste type.
No.
No.
He knows much more than I do. I don't know that much.
पंजाबी फिल्म नानक नाम जहाज में काम करने के बाद किस इमोशन को वापस लेके जाएंगे आप?
देखने के बाद
अब
वो फिल्म
काम करने के बाद.
अच्छा. Well, I feel very blessed to have been a part of such a important project, and it's not every year that I get a chance to be a part of something that feels this authentic and this important. So yeah, very, very blessed.
Would you like to do few Punjabi movies?
Absolutely, especially now. I think अभी तक पंजाबी फिल्मों में हिस्टोरिकल पीरियड ड्रामा का कैटेगरी बहुत कम आते हैं. तो शायद इसलिए ये हमारा पहले मौका अभी मिला. तो अभी इसके बाद कुछ भी हो सकता है. I think there'll be more opportunities, and looking forward to that. And I think the level of the craft in this film is very strong. Our director and the producers, are really working at a very high level of quality here. Right. That I feel really proud to be a part of.
As you guys experienced with South cinema also, Bollywood also, है ना? But after this, I'm in Punjabi cinema. Yeah. What do you think? Is it really growing like as we saying every day?
I feel like, you've seen like the kind of buzz around this film globally, the kind of response that the trailer and the teaser have gotten is another level. I was not expecting this, so I think it's big.
Like the grassroots level buzz is huge, and it's not just grassroots. It's like feels like worldwide. It's huge.
But before this project, have you seen another Punjabi film? As an actor?
I haven't.
No, me neither.
This is your first debut? देखने में भी और करने के लिए भी.
Yes.
Okay, one very important question, because as we talked before, this is a very sensitive topic for every Indian, Punjabi, everybody, right? But during the shoot, was there any emotional point of view that triggered you a lot on the set?
Yeah, as an actor, it's important to just stay with the emotions of your character. So that obviously we do. And then as a human being, obviously these incidents and this kind of thing can have an effect. And you have to be careful just psychologically to kind of protect yourself, when you're doing terrible things. And as an actor in a scene, not to let it spill over just kind of into your emotional reality of who you are as an actual person outside of your role. So, I'm usually pretty good at having that boundary. So emotionally, it hurts obviously to be aware of anything like this going on in the world, and it hurts even more when you realize there's so much injustice, and this story of immigrants being turned away, because of where they're from, because of their race, because of, stupid reasons. This is, such an issue today more than ever, because there's just more immigration, more refugee situations than we've ever seen. And, it really, I get emotional just thinking about that. And so I feel very blessed to be part of a film that's, dealing with that issue in terms of the history that it's talking about, but it's also an issue that is, more current than ever.
Thank you so very much. And all the very best.
Thank you.
And welcome to our Punjabi family or
Thank
in
you.
cinema. And I wish you both that do more and more projects over here. And welcome and come back
Wow.
again and again. Hope to see you soon, both of you, and all the very best once again. But yes, I would love to request you, please say something to our Punjabi or Indians audience.
Please go see the film.
जी, आप कुछ हिंदी में कहें तो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा.
हाँ, तो हमारा फिल्म ज़रूर देखिए. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट फिल्म है जिसके बारे में हम सुना रहे हैं. ये मामला आजकल आज की दुनिया में इट्स बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट इशू एंड it's very well done. So I really hope that you see it. Tell everyone, after you've seen it, how you felt about it. Let's start talking about these things and discussing them more.
Okay, thank you. And nice to meet you. All the very best
Nice to
once
meet you
again.
too.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. So, ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲੀ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ because I personally believe there is nowhere language barrier in emotions or in talent. So, I think we should go to cinemas and ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ. This is our personal responsibility. ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਟੀਮ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਐਂਡ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਬਣੇ ਨੇ. ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰਾ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਔਰ ਪਿਆਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣਾ ਐਂਡ ਫਿਲਮ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਵੱਧ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਵਧਾਵਾ ਦੇਣਾ. ਸਿਨੇਮਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਖਣ ਆਉਣਾ. ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ. ਕੀਪ ਵਾਚਿੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਕੀਪ ਸਪ੍ਰੈਡਿੰਗ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵਿਟੀ. ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ. ਆਪਣਾ ਦਾ ਰੱਖੋ ਖਿਆਲ. ਦਿਓ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ. ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ. ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ.
Sat Shri Akal ji.
Sat Shri Akal.